We're here with Klaus Kaasgaar. I hope I said the name correctly.
Yes, nicely done.
Brilliant, brilliant. You're new with Sage?
Yes, I am.
Brand new.
Three weeks in.
And what's your position?
I am EVP of Experience Design.
Wow, okay, so
Sage.
design. So we're going to have a conversation around design.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How important, we all know design is important, but how important really is it?
Well, you just talked to our CFO a while back, I saw. I'm sure he told you cash is king.
100%.
If
He
cash
did.
is king, design is queen.
Okay.
Okay.
Especially today, you know, the people's expectations of design and usability and being delighted with a product quickly has just gone up, you know, many times in the life, especially since since these things came out, right? People give you 7-8 seconds to show value and a sense of delight if you're lucky. And a sense of delight as you onboard a new product, right? Otherwise, they just keep their finger there for another 2 seconds and boom, you're gone.
You're gone,
Right? So those are the expectations that have been created in the marketplace and in our culture. And every company needs to kind of, react to that. Not just the startups and the new businesses or consumer-facing businesses, large businesses as well, and more enterprise businesses need to as well. That's why we talk about the consumerization of enterprise.
How much do you rely on customers when it comes to design? And by that I mean, do you design something and then you like it and somebody else likes it and you approve it and it goes out, or is it customer feedback and do you get to know the customers beforehand? What does that process look like?
Right. Customers is everything when it comes to design. With design, you're always designing for someone. It's not art. It's not my expression of art. So you're always designing for someone. So the customer is at the center of everything. And in many ways, the customer is the one making the decisions. If not directly, then indirectly through the different types of research that you do. Right. So we will do a ton of behavioral research, as well as interview types research, but really observing what customers do, what people do, is more valuable than asking them about it.
Okay, so actually watching what they're doing.
Watching what they're doing, whether that's interacting with your product or trying to understand their day-to-day workflow. Okay. It's a well-established fact that there's a really poor correlation between how people talk about what they do and what they actually do.
Okay, right.
It's actually even hard though to know who to listen to. Because it's the same thing when even when getting advice. Like not everyone has good advice. So like when it comes to customer feedback, how do you know who to listen to?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. One of the things you do, and many companies do this, you start with being very clear about the various segments that you serve. So for example, it's very different to design a product for an enterprise business than it is for a startup. They have very different needs and very different workflows. So you start by being clear about the segments or the types of customers that you're solving for. That's the first step. The second step is, again, people's behaviors don't lie. I'm not saying that people lie, but I am seeing that our brains tend to distort the truth a little bit, whether we're aware of it or not. We're all victims, quote unquote, of unconscious bias in everything we do. So observing people doing their job, interacting with products, interacting with each other, is the best way to understand the practices that you're trying to design for. So that's why we're mostly focused on that type of behavioral research when we talk about design. The other point that I would make is everyone can be creative. I have a saying where I say design is not a department, it's a mindset. So first of all, within any organization, you have to create the environment, the context in which people can be creative, because everyone can be creative. It is only because in our corporate lives we have designed work situations where people can't be creative,
of course.
right? But that's number one. The second thing, and it's a continuation of that, is your customers or the people that you create for and design for can be creative. So engage them in the creative process, in the product development process. They will have great insights that you can rely on and use.
We know that cash is king and design is queen, right? For anyone watching this, whether it be design around logo or product or brand or whatever it might be, what one bit of advice could you give to a startup or a scale-up about branding or design, I should say?
Yeah, don't fall into the trap of thinking about design as styling. Design is not about how things look. It's not only about how things look. It's about how things work.
Okay.
It's a fundamental of how things work. And everything you see around you is designed, right? Intentionally or not.
Yeah.
And you have to approach any design process knowing that and really highlighting that, because there's a tendency to think about design as graphic design or visual design, icing on a cake, which is absolutely not the way to view design. You have to view design as designing the fundamental way things work, and that's very different. And that's why for a startup business, use design thinking to define the very fundamentals of your business, whether that's your product or your processes, how you engage your people, etc. Design is a problem-solving method that can be applied to any problem, and that's why I say it's so important to recognize that that everyone can be creative and everyone can learn to apply design techniques to solve problems. So focus on how things work, not just how they look.
It's a good piece of advice. Look, welcome to Sage.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you at more events, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys.